That's nice.
Oh my God, this is important. I'm becoming a freaking woman, everyone!
Adam Sandler's recent hit film, You Are So Not Invited to My Bat Mitzvah, says a lot about the way American Jews relate to Jewish traditions. Highly praised for its punchy script and great acting from Sandler's real-life family members, the movie explores how highly affluent young Jews take the journey through adolescence by way of the bar or bat mitzvah. It may not come as a surprise that Sandler's movie does not very accurately portray the depth and meaning of this ancient ritual. But perhaps more surprising is that a deeper look reveals that most Jews, even religious Jews, don't really understand what a bat mitzvah is for either. Here's the Mensch Sense take. From its opening scene, You Are So Not Invited makes the case that a bat mitzvah should be viewed as a rite of passage, similar to those of other cultures around the world.
All across the world, and maybe ever since the beginning of time, different cultures have different ways of celebrating a kid coming of age.
In truth, to call something a rite of passage, it has to meet certain conditions. The anthropologist Mircea Eliade, who wrote the book on the subject, identifies two functions of the traditional rite of passage. First, it brings the initiate into adulthood, meaning a sense of responsibility for oneself and others. This is usually accomplished by undergoing difficult tests, such as surviving in harsh conditions or being subjected to mental and physical pain. Second, the rite of passage binds the youth to his or her tribe, their culture, and their religion. It gives them a sense of respect for the elders and their way of life, so that they too can one day pass it on. Given this definition, the typical American Reform bat mitzvah as portrayed in the film is laughably out of touch from those rituals found amongst the Australian Aborigines or African Bushmen, for example. Instead of giving these preteens a sense of responsibility, they are treated to the most opulent displays of self-serving narcissism. This only adds to their sense of entitlement, having been raised by parents who give in to their children's every whim. And instead of being initiated into respecting the tribe and its elders, all we see is how poorly these spoiled children treat their parents, and how very little they know about their Jewish heritage.
All you should worry about right now is your mitzvah project and practicing your Haftorah.
That's not important! I mean, it is important to you and other old people and God and stuff, but to me, the party is important.
There is no better example than the main character's older sister, who has supposedly gone through the bat mitzvah ceremony, only to spend her teenage years watching horror movies and being embarrassed by being around her parents.
So I'm going to the movies. You want to come?
Too weird being in a movie theater alone with my dad.
Of course, there are a couple of nice touches, such as the mitzvah project described as
when you do something menschy for your community, for society at large.
And we couldn't agree more. And then there's the final speech, where Stacy admits she was wrong, which is a mature thing to do.
I have been so selfish and bratty and annoying.
But these are few and far between, and are frankly modern additions that have little to do with the traditional ceremony. Of course, this fictional, dysfunctional, decadent Jewish family in the movie misses the point of the bat mitzvah. But that leads us to the real question, which is, what is the real point of the bat mitzvah? Even religious bar and bat mitzvahs do not meet the requirements of the true rite of passage. Little more is demanded of these teens than to memorize some passages of the Torah, possibly give a short speech, and then enjoy a celebratory meal. So if it's not designed to bring the child into adulthood, what is it for? The answer is, the ceremony itself was never intended to move the child into a new phase of their life. He or she automatically becomes a legal adult at the age of 12 or 13, now obligated in the mitzvahs or commandments. The ritual just commemorates that change in status. The sense of responsibility and connection to one's people and heritage does not come in an instant. Religious Jewish children are taught this responsibility from a much earlier age, and it is the attention to their daily consistent habits that forms their identity. At the end of the day, Jews don't pay much attention to the excitement of singular, life-changing events. It is much more challenging and effective to honor the small and unglamorous deeds, and indeed, that's what truly makes us into adults. Adulthood is not a light switch. It is a commitment to what life asks of us, even when we're tired or not in the mood. It's a lifelong journey that no DJ or Twizzler stand can ever prepare us for. Although just maybe, what these entitled, narcissistic kids really need might be a week of surviving in the African bush. And that makes mensch sense.